Hi, my name is Kate, and today I'd like to talk about Stranger Things Season 4. So, at the end of Stranger Things Season 4, we kind of leave the characters in a rough spot, with Vecna really defeated, the Upside Down kind of spreading through Hawkins, just like the destruction caused by the Upside Down. Generally not too good, but one of the characters that ends up the worst off at the end of the season is Max. And after a generally emotional season and a very long season, a lot of people were left, I think, kind of overwhelmed by where the plot left their favorite characters. And so a lot of them took to Twitter, of course, as you do, to express their emotion. And the problem with that is that in the process of voicing their emotions about where the Duffer Brothers left Max's character in the hospital at the end of season 4, a lot of the tweets ended up being full of ableist rhetoric. But I think in order to fully understand where the ableist ideas come from, you need to understand who Max is.
We are introduced to Max Mayfield in episode 1 of season 2, with the episode literally being called Mad Max. Before we meet Max in person, we learn that she is really good at video games. We learn this through a scene at the arcade where Dustin's top score on Dig Dug is beaten by Mad Max, though the boys have no idea who Mad Max is. A couple scenes later, we meet Max, and simultaneously her stepbrother Billy, as Billy speeds his car into the school parking lot. Max, however, slips out of the car and immediately skateboards away from Billy. This is the audience's first inclination that the two of them don't get along. Later, Max is introduced to her science class. We learn that she's from California, and the boys put together that she must be Mad Max. After school, Dustin and Lucas spy on Max outside of the arcade and see her fighting with Billy. She slams the car door and runs inside to play Dig Dug with an intense look on her face. This is the last we see of Max in this episode. As the season progresses, she gets closer with the boys, even though they continually push her away. She gets especially close to Lucas, which leads to them dating in season 3. We learn that she's surrounded by emotionally and physically abusive people, including Billy and her stepdad, and that she left her biological dad back in California. We get to see her get some revenge on Billy for all the crap he puts her through at the end of the season, where she smashes him with a bat with the nail sticking out of it. In season 3, Max has an even worse time of it. Billy gets possessed by the Mind Flayer, which causes him to do some not-so-great stuff. She has an on-again, off-again relationship with Lucas, but she does develop a solid friendship with Eleven, who she only met at the end of season 2. After the Mind Flayer takes over Starcourt Mall, through some intervention with Eleven, Billy sacrifices himself for Eleven, which thoroughly traumatizes Max. In season 4, Max has a really hard time. She's broken up with Lucas, isolated herself, and is struggling in school. After the mysterious death of her classmate Chrissy Cunningham, Max starts to investigate her death along with her friends that she has estranged herself from. As they put together the clues surrounding Chrissy's death, Max realizes that she is experiencing many of the same things that Chrissy was. The group determined that she was cursed by Vecna and that her days were numbered. To save Max, the group discovered that she could be protected by listening to her favorite song, which helped to anchor her to reality. After a close call with Vecna, they decided to create a plan to stop him. Part of the plan involved Max making herself emotionally and physically vulnerable to Vecna, which involved her taking off her headphones. While waiting for Vecna, Lucas and Max reconnected and made plans to go see a movie after they presumably defeated Vecna. Eleven was almost able to stop Vecna, but Vecna overpowered Eleven and started to kill Max, breaking her bones and blinding her eyes. Eleven ultimately overcame Vecna, but Max was left in a coma, with her bones still broken, her eyes still blinded, and brain dead.
So, as I said earlier, there's been a lot of negative response to Max's character at the end of season 4, and a lot of the comments that have been made have been very, very ableist. So I'm going to share some of them with you, but if you are also disabled, I would recommend maybe proceeding with caution because a lot of these tweets are really not cool.
It's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, ableist tweets.
Love Max Mayfield with all my heart. Poor baby has so many broken bones and she's going to be blind next season. Assuming she lives, of course. But why would they keep her alive if she wasn't going to live? Okay, say this is true. Why would someone want to live while they're brain dead and blind? Don't put my Mad Max through all this. It's going to be hell. I'm not going to be able to watch this, not going to lie. They already put me through enough in volume 2. Yo, at Netflix, can you take hashtag Stranger Things Volume 2 back? Can we just act like Max is okay, please? I swear to God, she better be okay in season 5 or I'm a riot. She better not be permanently blind or disabled. She better be hashtag Max Mayfield, or I swear to God. And deep down, we all know that it'd be better if she wasn't blind or disabled. It's clear that it wouldn't ruin her character because she'll always be badass Max Mayfield, blind or disabled. Now, the common thread through all these tweets is that although Max is alive, she won't actually be living because she's disabled. Let me make this absolutely perfectly crystal clear. That is ableist, to think that Max cannot live because she is disabled. By insinuating or outright saying that because Max is disabled, she won't be living in season 5, you are saying that disabled people in the real world aren't actually living because of their disabilities. Or, even worse, questioning why they would want to live because of their disabilities. I personally am disabled and I use a wheelchair and other mobility aids to get around, and believe me when I say that I am living a great life still. My disability does not prevent me from having a great life, great friends, great family, lots of opportunities. It does not stop me from living my life just because I use a wheelchair. There is absolutely no doubt that being disabled is hard, but that's largely because of an inaccessible world. And just because it's hard, that doesn't erase my humanity. That tangent aside, I do want to focus on that last tweet though, because it's a part of an interesting thread. I'm not including the 2 names of the individuals of the people who tweeted these because I don't want to direct any hate towards them, but let me read these tweets to you. Disabled Max would cause her both pain and disruption, and she would still be the same character we know and love, and it wouldn't dehumanize her at all. It's a shitty circumstance, but she'll adjust, and people need to stop acting shitty about disabled characters. I want to make it known, I absolutely agree with this sentiment. Max can absolutely still be a well-rounded character, even with a disability. But then, someone else responded to this tweet saying, I don't think Max will be disabled, but maybe she gets blind, and it's obvious that this would cause her pain and all of her fans will suffer because of it. But I clearly prefer her blind or disabled rather than dead, and she'll be happy because she's alive and can stay with her loved ones. And deep down, we all know that it'd be better if she wasn't blind or disabled, even though it's clear it wouldn't ruin her character. Because she'll always be the badass Max Mayfield, blind or disabled. Like I said earlier, this is ableist rhetoric. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I don't believe this person has a great understanding of what disability is and what it means to be disabled, largely due to some uneducated things that they say about disability, such as Max being blind or disabled when being blind is a disability. If you're blind, you are disabled. That's how that works. I also want to clarify that I'm not trying to dogpile this person, hence why I'm not including their name. But I do think that this comment is a great example of the ableist comments about Max post the end of Stranger Things Season 4. The person says that deep down, we all know that she'd be better if she wasn't disabled or blind. Saying that we all agree with the idea that Max's character would be better if she wasn't disabled is absolutely a terrible thing to say. I will admit, I'm not positive that the Duffer Brothers will do a great job writing a character like Max with a disability. But that doesn't mean that her character is worse because of her disabilities. That'd be because of the writers doing a poor job. Apart from saying that Max shouldn't be alive because she's disabled, there are 2 other examples of ableist rhetoric I've seen. One of the things I've seen is people saying that she and Lucas now can't go see a movie together. One example I've seen is people saying that she and Lucas can't go see a movie together, whether it's a joke about it or just being sad about the fact. However, there are ways for blind people to enjoy movies, and that doesn't mean that they can't go on a date somewhere else. It doesn't have to be a movie theater. There are options. The other way that people have been promoting ableist rhetoric post the end of season 4 of Stranger Things is that people are saying that Max has to get powers now. And the one I see the most often, like compared to like superhero wise, is Daredevil from the Marvel universe. He's a character, he's a blind lawyer, and he basically has, this is very simplified, but he basically has echolocation. He can hear really well, even though he can't see, and he can identify where people are based off of hearing them alone. But here's the important thing to take away. Max is allowed to be disabled and she doesn't need powers to be able to contribute something to the group. Now, if she's brain dead in the next season, which they have said that she's brain dead, there's a potential she won't be contributing anything, just because brain dead means that you're dead. It's not oh, she's kind of alive. It's that her brain is no longer functioning and that without machines, she cannot exist. If that's true, and that is where they continue to go with her character, where she is brain dead, that's okay. The important thing is controlling the way you talk about Max as a character outside of the TV show, because there are disabled people outside of television. And although Max is a character who may never hear what you say because she's a character, there are real life people who are reading what you're saying and internalizing it as the way you view disabled people. It hurts. It hurts a lot. One other thing I like to know is that Max is not the only disabled character in Stranger Things. Gaten Malrazzo has cleidocranial dysplasia, and they've incorporated that into Dustin's character. And you'll never hear anyone talking about the fact that he can't contribute anything to the group, or it'd be better if he wasn't disabled. He is still a well-rounded and beloved character, disability and all, which proves, I feel, that Max can also be a beloved and well-rounded character even with a disability. So the question is, with so much ableist rhetoric that's already been spread post the end of Stranger Things Season 4, how can we fix the community's perspective on Max? Firstly, call out any ableist comments you see made about Max or someone in real life. It's not cool. It hurts people's feelings, and some people just don't understand. There's not enough education about disability out there for everyone to understand where they're going wrong in the ways that they talk about disability. Secondly, don't remove Max's disabilities from her in fan work, regardless if it's a fan fiction, fan art, or even just theorizing about where her character could go in season 5. Don't remove those aspects of her character from her. I think it's really cool when I see a fan art of like Lucas and Max together, but Max is in a wheelchair and her eyes are blind. I think that's really cute.
This is the specific fan art I was talking about. It's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Finally, listen to disabled people when they talk about disability. If you get called out for being ableist, listen. Try to grow from that and understand where that disabled person is coming from, or non-disabled person. Understand disabled people's perspectives. Understand where we're coming from when we call you out for things. Make a point to see inaccessibility in the world and do your best to fix it, even if it means working with someone else to make it happen. If you've personally made ableist comments or jokes about Max, apologize. And do your best to remove that from the internet to prevent other disabled people from being hurt by your comments. Take ownership of it, acknowledge that you said something hurtful, but try to keep it from hurting other people. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching this video. This has been a project of love for me. I was really frustrated with the way I saw people talking about Max at the end of season 4, and I'm really excited to see what they do with her in season 5. And like I said earlier, a lot of those comments have been hurtful to me, and I know to other disabled people as well. So trying to provide more education on why those things are harmful and bad, I think is really important. There's not enough out there. There's disabled people who are working tirelessly to make it happen, but there's not enough out there. And so to try to contextualize it inside a TV show that people love, I think is a great way to get started. Thank you for watching this video. I have wanted to make YouTube videos on my personal channel for a while. I have some more ideas floating around and I want a creative outlet, so I will continue making videos regardless if anyone sees them or not. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like or comment down below. Also, I have my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok linked down below. And if you want to hear more of my thoughts about various different pop culture things, you should head on over to downthehobbitholeblog.com because I write posts for them and share my thoughts about new movies and TV shows and stuff that come out. Or on their YouTube channel, I also have some stuff up there too. So I hope you're doing well wherever you are today. Have a lovely day. Bye.